Hello everyone, I'm doing a little bit of a peek into 2020 for you. I decided to do it by element, and then what I'll do is I'll do a little mini read for each element. So this is for the fire signs, Leo, Sag and Aries. So a little bit of an overview, but remember these are only general energies that I'm pulling in for you here. Oops. And they can flip-flop and they can do all sorts of things. So just be a little open-minded on what you're listening to. Doesn't resonate, then it's not yours. Okay. Yourself organised here. Oh, very nice. So for the fire signs, we've got a year of closing out cycles. I think this is going to be the same for everybody because it seems to be the general energy at the moment. Definitely a year for travel. I see a lot of you planning overseas travel here with the world, moving house, moving to different areas, moving in different directions. We do have the Prince of Cups coming out here, so it's definitely a year for love offers, offers of romance, a year for letting go of those things that have held you back, and certainly a year for just being a little bit more childlike, approaching life with more childlike wonder, perhaps seeing things a little differently, not being so stuck in a way of thinking, being able to discard things that don't serve you. Okay. We had this out with one of the others as well. So definitely still a year for a lot of change, a lot of transformation. I do see for you fire signs next year being a year that wishes will come true for you. So manifestation, if it's love you're after, it will be on your doorstep. And if it's a career change you're after, there's definitely a career change here as well. But it's also a year for learning how to meditate and to become aligned with what purpose you have going forward. It seems to be a year of choices. Again, with the Magician and the High Priestess, a year for really looking inside and learning how to manifest and bring in what you want. Now, for some of you, this will be about children, having families, like the focus will be on broadening your family, resolving family conflict, coming together with your family. And a year for being really clear about what you want here. Now, the Death card is here right at the front, and it feels to me like you'll be going through transformations and changes as you would normally be in any year. But next year is a chance for you to really dig deep inside yourself, to really understand how to manifest and how to bring forth how you want. So it's a year where you will be bringing your wishes in a form that you want them. It's also very much a year for cutting things away. So you might find with your families there are certain people that will need to be put away, but not so much effort put into people that don't really gel with you. I feel that you're going to become more conscious of relationships, what sort of relationships you're having, a greater idea of that. There's also this idea too that you might want to delve into education next year. So some of you will really be looking at what sort of courses, what sort of learning you need to do to further your education here. So a big year for you learning new things, learning new ways of doing perhaps what you've been doing. Again, there's this feeling, the same as the water signs, that a lot of people embarking on careers where you're putting in something that's more esoteric. So you're perhaps starting up businesses that are a little unusual, a little different. I'm just seeing something from Stephen King, and I'm thinking, I can't remember what it was called, but that little shop of curios, something really different here, where you're starting to sort of think outside the box. A lot of travel for the fire signs as well. I see a lot of trips to perhaps countries where the culture is very interesting to you. So really planning out how to get overseas and see those places that you haven't seen, that have always called to your heart, places that you have like that affinity with, where you really feel that you want to go and travel. Sort of trying to get into the energies. There's quite a lot of energies doing these readings, so it's a very different energy to doing a weekly one. It's much broader. But definitely the forefront of this year is around broadening your intuition and understanding manifestation, like magically bringing in wishes, finding that you ask for something and it's right on your doorstep. It's almost like you really only have to ask and it's there. It seems to be a very quick year for you where you don't have to wait for a lot of things. So the manifestation you're bringing in here is coming in very quickly. But this transformation, I feel that the transformations in the beginning of the year and the closing out of the cycles, I feel like that's very much in the January, February, and then after that, the move towards, doing what you want to do, opening your businesses, and certainly education seems to be very dominant here, and looking at what you can do to broaden your horizons by traveling. Beautiful. Okay, let's have a look at the individual signs. So Aries. Aries, I have here for you the High Priestess. No, I have, Justice, Two of Swords and the Knight of Swords here. So there's some sort of decision that needs to be made. There looks like something in the new year. It could be around karmic justice, but for some of you this looks like justice for me. So it may be a year of getting back what you've put in other years and feel like you have got nothing back for. Sometimes we get to the end of a year and we feel like we haven't achieved everything we wanted to achieve. We've set out to do certain things and haven't really been able to produce results. And I feel like next year is a year of you seeing results for things. I do think there's a caution here to not go ahead blindly, like to make sure that you plan things out and you see things in a very logical way. They're all swords showing up here. So this is about being clear with communication, understanding that not always is all information known, but not bowling into things without really thinking things out and understanding what you want and the direction you're going in. For your work, we have abundance. Very nice. So it seems to me no matter what you set your mind to this year, as long as you think things through and you're very clear with what you want, that you're going to bring in this beautiful abundance. So everything you invest in this year will be good to you. You will bring back what you've invested. But then I think perhaps years before you haven't had that opportunity. We do have the card of loyalty. This is your love card. It says your reliability demonstrates your loving sense of devotion and consistency of being. Again, with this beautiful green heart chakra colour around this. So perhaps in your relationships for 2019, you really didn't get the loyalty that you wanted. And it seems to me somebody's coming in for you this year, or maybe your own relationship is sort of leveling up in a way that's more true to what you want it here. But this is also about you investing in your relationships a lot more this year in 2020 than what you did in 2019. Okay, Sagittarius. Okay, so we have the King of Cups, the Three of Swords, and the Four of Swords. And between them, of course, there's the Ace of Swords. So this is about understanding your truth this year. Perhaps you're approaching everything this year with more of a heart, with your heart open, understanding the balance of emotion here. So you're approaching everything more emotionally, rather than going, full steam ahead with your passion. There seems to be a bit of taking time out this year for rest. Maybe it's a year where you sort of kick back a little bit and you don't invest in things as you've done before. So there's a little bit of a caution here because you do have the broken heart. And in this card, of course, we can see someone meditating. So what I want to say to you, this is a year of you understanding how to use your emotions. Maybe previously you've been hurt in things. So it's a bit more coming in and embracing things in a much more loving, kind way to avoid perhaps this hurt and heartbreak going forward. But I do see you being much more in your loving element here. So it's a year for you to be more loving. You do have the yes to the job card. So I'm thinking with your yes, it's about time that you moved from the job you were in. Maybe you've been trying to work out whether you wanted to stay where you were or move on. And the universe is saying a big yes. So if you're thinking of taking on a business, moving into a new area, studying, whatever it is, yes for the whole year. And then your love card is virtue. And it says you acknowledge your loving spiritual attributes that encourage others to grow. So again, with the loving, with this card here, I feel you're a lot more open to love this year. Could mean that you're going to get married, settle down, find a life partner. But there's definitely this feeling here that you're finding your heart more, really listening to your heart more, and opening your heart chakra up to more love. Okay, and then we have Leo. Leo, okay, so you have the Page of Swords, the Magician, and the Knight of Pentacles. So for you here, this is your year. This is about studying. This is about taking things to the next level, really looking how to progress in your career, having a career plan. This is about researching and studying and having a really clear direction to go in, and planning it, like not just sort of jumping in. And being a Leo, I know Leos are very passionate about things, but definitely about sort of planning things. You are bringing things in here, so you are manifesting here, but I think it's about understanding here, you know, what do you want to learn. Some of you will be moving into careers around communication and media, while others of you will be moving into jobs around perhaps what you've already done, but taking it to the next level. So you may be moving into degrees this year after certificates and diplomas. So advancing your own career, but also embarking on new things here. For your work, you have forgiveness. So sometimes when we're in a job and things don't work out so well and we walk away, we have this thing where we blame. And we might blame ourselves for not being tolerant, or blame ourselves for not being happy with what we're doing. Forgiveness is essential when you move away. And some people sort of get this idea that forgiveness is about the other person, and it's not. It's about you. So this is about sort of letting up on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself if something doesn't work out. But being able to let things go and just forgive whatever you've done or whatever someone else has done, so you can move forward. And for your love card, you've got compassion. And it says you demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. This is really nice and very much in line with the fire signs year here. And also the forgiveness here. So being able to let go of things, understand things at a much deeper level, but also understanding that from everything comes a lesson for you to learn. This is about really opening your heart up to what's going on, seeing the other person's side of the story, but also being able to let go of things so you're not hanging on to things endlessly. Beautiful. Thanks, fire signs.